I'm telling you.
It's
I'm only
what you
paying
keep
90.
spending your money on.
That's for real right
Talking to a sneaker dog.
You know, this whole like resale thing is something that I used to do back, in high school, bro.
Maybe.
I
So
was
when
one
I
of the
knew you,
first people to get like a CD burner.
wow,
And
wow.
I used to make money, you know, just fucking burning CDs for people. And like throughout the years, you know, I've done a lot of you know, just like you, right? Go to a ton of concerts, right? And I've always have had like a penchant for pretty much going to every show that I really want and like getting really good tickets, and that kind of just evolved into like, well, let me scalp tickets, right? Let me
Mm.
you know, let me acquire other really, you know, hard to get items. And like I said, in my 20s, like I was just on eBay. They sent me like a year in review email
Hmm.
like a week ago, and it literally told me. So I've been on eBay for like 18 years, right, on and
Wow,
off.
wow.
But like just to show you that like I've, you know, pretty much when I became an adult, like I started to like sell things. And it was interesting because the first sale that I've ever had was white cement threes. And I
Wow.
was like, damn, like really, that was the first thing. And I was like, yeah, like because I was
I
on a
was just
much more
looking at
limited
some.
scale.
I was just looking at some threes. They got out of my price range on the auction now, but I had to tell
Oh,
myself.
which ones?
There was two of them that I was looking at. I really want the fucking laser oranges, man. That's like my fucking. That's totally
You,
my aesthetic, you know, like
yeah,
super
the
loud,
women's
bright.
size, right? The women's
Yeah,
shoe.
yep,
Yeah.
yep. And then there was some white cement threes on there. Same seller, but you know how it is, man. You see them at 100, and then before you know it, they're
Oh
at
yeah,
fucking 200.
it's for sure.
And I mean, it's obvious why they are. Those shoes will sell, right? I mean, I'm not surprised that that was your first shoe that you sold because that shoe will sell whether it's in
Yeah,
session or not, man. That's a real. That
yeah,
was
it's a
actually going
classic.
to be one of my questions was um, top three, just the breads. Well, fuck, my bad. You're still in the middle of your story, but there's just some
No, no.
shoes that will always sell. You feel me? Like I just feel that way, and I haven't even been doing that much research, and it just seems like I already kind of could tell there's certain shoes that just will always have a market. You know?
And it definitely is frustrating as a reseller because you know you'll get something and then you know the first 10 listings it's at like a decent price and you're like, okay, cool, and then the product goes live and then it sells out and then the prices just plummet down.
Interesting when they should be doing the opposite.
Yeah, theoretically, and that's the thing about it is that like every shoe is different, and like it is really hard to predict sometimes, right? And guess what? And what I've realized too is that like let's just use the Flint 13s for another example. Like because so there was a window where I probably could have sold them for over $300, right? Or maybe 300, and maybe if after everything, maybe I'm clearing $50, right?
Okay, okay,
But
that's not
because
bad.
I said again,
I said that's not too bad.
yeah, and again, like, I definitely you know have sold things for less profit than that for sure. Um, but because I hesitated to go ahead and put it on eBay, then it got flooded. And guess what?
Mm,
Now, to me, it's not worth even bothering to sell it right now. Like I'm gonna just hold on to it for a year and like in the hopes that it's gonna eventually creep up to 300 and then that it'll keep going up, you know, over time, right? So I think that's an interesting thing, and you know, one of those things that I'm constantly like, should I sell this now? Should I you know hold on to it? And the thing about Jordans that's really interesting is that so I've acquired a couple of Jordans in the last couple of months, and it's interesting because so although obviously Jordans are hyped and, you know, everybody buys them, you know, not just older folks like us, but the kids, right? Like that I think that's one of the interesting things working with kids, how like all of them have Jordans. And
I'll be
like
like, why? I mean, I
when
know
we were
why
a
I
kid,
like
no one had
Jordans.
them. Like
Yeah,
one or
no,
two
hell
kids
no.
had them.
Hell no, hell no. If anything, everybody had the up tempos. That was one shoe that I was like, fuck, I wanted hella bad. I just got some up tempos right now. But yeah, no, you're right. And what trips me out is we revered those shoes because we got to see the man play, you know? I'm always
For
very
sure.
curious that they just know the shoe by the pure aesthetics of the shoe, which is really interesting to me. I mean, I don't think they revere the shoe for the person, right? I mean,
No.
I guess you would have to ask every single one of them, but it's been so long now where, I mean, they're buying the shoe because the shoe looks nice, basically.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
I'm
and
really,
it's like the you know the oral traditions of shoe nerds, right? Of like,
mhm.
let me tell you about this guy who's the greatest and won 6 titles, right?
Well, and The Last Dance, I think, did a lot probably for
For
a lot of
sure.
these shoes too, right? Like seeing him win the dunk contest in the threes and the freaking, you know, seeing the Space Jams and shit. I mean, I'm sure all those shoes are. I mean, I don't know from what you've been hearing, but I've been hearing that the resale or the shoe shit has been going up during quarantine. Like people are buying shoes. I don't know. I'm curious to hear your take on that.
Getting back into this and doing like extensive research and just, you know, trial by error, right? Um, it I was like talking to my other homie about this, that it very much feels semi-artificial
Mm,
because so you know so what's happening, because you know everybody's in quarantine, and especially here in the Bay Area and especially in the city, right? Is that it feels like, and I've definitely have heard a million comments and read it in the last couple of months of like everything is selling out. And so like, is there, just because something sells out, like, is that, you know, is it like reflective of like an actual demand for the shoe, or is it just because everybody's just at the house in the crib and you can't just go, you know, to the store anymore without risking your life, essentially, right? And so, um, and I think one of the interesting things is that it definitely has brought down the value of certain shoes and certain shoe lines down. So like, for example, Jordans and all the Jordans that I currently have right now on just kind of like in stock, I I could sell it, but like I'm not gonna get anything.
I mean,
And
as a
just,
buyer, I've seen that. My price limit is usually like 150. I try not to go over that. And I've been getting a lot of the stuff I want for under 150. Like if I look enough. So yeah, as a seller, I think it's been, as a consumer, I think it's been going good. But as a seller, I think it's been, I definitely feel like the price has dropped for sure. I would, just for my little bit of experience, which has been
yeah.
a couple
And
months.
so so I'll give you an example, like the Flint 13s or the Oregon 5s that just came out, right? And again, all of them are sold out. But um, I'll go on eBay and these people are selling it for like 260, free shipping, right? And I'm just like, there's no way you're making any money off of this. And if you are, it's like $5,
Mm-hmm.
$10, right? And so I
Mm-hmm.
think there is, you know, like for Jordans in particular right now, and I'll definitely show you like, you know, a Jordan that is very much worth the investment if you're lucky to even get your hands on this week. But for like the typical Jordan, even if it's like super hyped, you're not gonna make much money off of it.
Hey yo, who wear it all? I'm a Adidas freak, multi-thousand-pair sneak freak, real fly physique, that'll look, yeah. Fat watch, live footwear, having white folks displaying my gear. Come on, son, let's keep it moving, right footwear. Check out my